And here we are again on this double feature day. This is Melanie again with astrology, in this case, not for the week, but for the 12 days of Christmas. On day 2, this is the day for Taurus, the 26th to the 27th of December. So you might have seen the ARIES initial inaugurational video yesterday, which was just the start of the 12-day series. So what's going on with these? I record and post now every day from December 26th till January 5th for each sign of the zodiac, from Aries to Pisces, an outlook for 2023, because it's the 12 days of Christmas and they line up with the zodiac. They do that actually forward and backward. What do I mean by that is yesterday was an Aries / Pisces day. Today is a Taurus / Aquarius day. Tomorrow Gemini, Capricorn, and so on. So maybe you noticed yesterday, especially if you tuned in, the Aries and Pisces cuspy theme, the alpha and the omega, the ending and the beginning, that awareness, the beginning and the ending in this case, and that awareness of how things are cyclical and how there's always a impermanence to things, even to Christmas, and there's always a fresh beginning. Also important to not get inundated by all kinds of influences and to be yourself again. Very Aries. And yesterday I talked about Aries and Jupiter now in Aries, and quite an Aries year to come. But also for Taurus, I mean, Aries and Taurus are probably the signs that are most directly affected in the new year. Why am I saying that? For Aries, it is Jupiter and Chiron mostly, but also the nodes and eclipses go back to Aries / Libra. And for Taurus, there's kind of even more, because there is Jupiter will enter Taurus for one. That is when it comes out of Aries on May 16th. So, and Jupiter will be for a long time in Taurus, from May 16th until May 26, 2024. So more than a year this time. And that will be much needed to ground the energy, but also together with Uranus, which is already in Taurus since 2019 until 2026. And Jupiter will meet Uranus on April 21st, 2024. So that will be building up that vibe from the end of the year. That is a lot about freedom, and it's a lot about, can be also a lot of shifts, lot of unpredictabilities, right? Because Jupiter amplifies everything it touches. Right? It's like a Midas touch, makes everything to gold, whether you want it or not. So Jupiter makes everything bigger so that we see and understand better what's going on, and maybe even outgrow certain things. So Jupiter will go into Taurus, will show us about the importance of nature, the importance of groundedness, the importance of appreciation of everything organic and natural. And then with Uranus in the face of all these unpredictable and unexpected shifts that are going on now on the earth, and the disruptive quality when it comes to body, when it comes to food, when it comes to economy, when it comes to habits. So Jupiter says, how can we, be in this mode, but really in a good way? So how can we, for example, really find freedom through innovative ventures, and also through changing habits, breaking habits, and maybe unsettling ourselves from something that becomes so attached, right? So Uranus in Taurus is unsettling, but maybe the unsettling also brings freedom, and maybe it kicks us out of certain habitual, not so beneficial modes, stagnation basically, right? So, and Jupiter is in Taurus every 12 years. So if you are a multiple of 12 years old, you would have your Jupiter return probably rather the second half of the year. I didn't do the math for all the Jupiter in Taurus people, but well, come over or check and check it out with me, or check the ephemeris, the planetary tables for each year, which you can find, for example, really good reliable ones at astro.com. The Swiss Astrodienst site, Dienst is spelled D-I-E-N-S-T, and means Astro Service. So yeah, so they have ephemeris, they have tables for planets where you can look up where Jupiter was when you were born in that year. Just basically Google that Astro ephemeris, let's say you're born in 1975, Astro ephemeris, Astrodienst ephemeris 1975, and then you find the tables. Anyway, or come for a session. And would be a really good idea for Taurus this year, so much going on. And so yeah, stand your ground, find your ground and stand your ground, and embody freedom are mottos for Taurus in 2023. So what else is going on? Yes, eclipses. Yes, we had eclipses in Scorpio, Taurus big time this year, especially so always in the eclipse season will be solar and lunar eclipse in this case in Scorpio and Taurus. The first phase 2022 was end of April 30th and May 15th, with a solar eclipse in Taurus and a total lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And then we had another eclipse season end of October 25th and November 8th, with a partial solar eclipse in Scorpio and a total lunar eclipse in Taurus on November 8th. And so what's with those eclipses? The eclipses are exact new moons and full moons, always in the signs where we have the nodes. The lunar nodes are currently in Scorpio Taurus since last December 2021 and until July 13th, 2023. So we are working out sort of karmically and in a way where we have been too, conditioned to old ways that are not so beneficial, that we actually lose energy. That's typically south node dynamics. That's the default that we like to go to, and we need to actually evolve out of. That has been Scorpio, in fact, and is still till July. And we need to develop in balance positive and supportive Taurian qualities in combination with Uranus, of course, which is also in Taurus. So in other words, really coming into our bodies, being free and not getting manipulated, which is Scorpio shadow, or pulled into the dark, into some rabbit holes, into some psychic vampire energies, and into anything that really drains our energy. It's basically like not selling our soul is a big one, right, for Scorpio, or not going into destructive and self-destructive modes. So I'm really thinking in that regard also about the war, the major war in Ukraine, and also other wars going on in the world, but also wars on the human mind, wars on the soul, wars on nature, and all of that, right? So there's so much destruction going on. How can we come out of the destructive, manipulative control mode of Scorpio, the shadow, and into more groundedness and appreciation of the earth, Taurus, right? So let us contribute to that by developing new healthy habits that appreciate the earth, appreciate the healthy, natural, organic body, food, all of that, rather than all these synthetic and manipulated and the formulas that are artificial, that are sort of concocted. That's a Scorpio thing, right? So alchemy going bad. And now with Taurus, yeah, beneficial Taurus energy is much welcome. And the eclipses have highlighted that. Maybe you had some breakthroughs with Uranus in the one or both eclipse seasons around these things in May or November. And there's another a really interesting series of eclipses coming in 2023, because 2023 will be the transition year for the nodes. So we will have eclipses on the cusps. So we have the first eclipse on April 19th, 20th, and that's I call it like Aries Taurus new moon, because it's new moon on the cusp of Aries and Taurus. With the North Node, it's a total solar eclipse. So here this is what it looks like, right on this cusp, very apropos Aries and Taurus. So technically, this new moon is still in the last degree, 2950 something, of Aries, but it's also reaching over to Taurus with the node and with Mercury and with Uranus. And also it links Chiron. This is huge. That's probably the most important eclipse of the year. Yeah, I would say so, it is. And it is a seed eclipse. Why am I saying that? Because it plants new seeds at the point of the North Node. So planting new seeds for new ground, new integrity. Early Taurus has a Capricorn undertone. Integrity, groundedness, and settling, a groundedness in a way where we say, this is where I stand my ground. And I'm not, because my ground is based on my values, right? So my values feed me in that, and they give you stability and solidity. And finding your ground there is really important. And being truly yourself with Jupiter in Aries is the background, right? The background of finding the ground is basically being a new beginning for you, for showing up in a new way as you, truly you, authentically, and so on. And then having your values being expressed in that as well. And so that's a really important one. Definitely more to come around that. This is such a concentration of, look at that again, right? So such a concentration right on the cusp, especially if you have planets in late Aries, early Taurus, or your birthday is around the 19th, 20th. That's huge. And now the next eclipse will be on Cinco de Mayo, on the 5th of May, and that will be a lunar eclipse, a full moon, but an eclipsed full moon by the Earth shadow on penumbral, so not an exact, but look at that again, not a total lunar eclipse, but a strong alignment. Lots of planets here lining up together with the on the Taurus side. On the Scorpio side, there's just the moon and the south node. So this is about a release again energetically and emotionally, psychically, what we might have been pulled into. This would be fabulous for literal and symbolic spring cleaning. All these dark corners in the psyche, in the belly, in the guts, and also in the house. And then Taurus, new growth. So again, new green growth is really wants to come into the picture, and a lot of freedom with that as well. And we probably see lots of shifts, lots of attempts and experiments, I should say, with Uranus around green economy and stuff like that, which is also apropos this, but things can express in so many ways, right? So point would be that you that you go for something and you buy something and into something that you truly value, and it's not just a fake version of something, sort of a pseudo greenwashing thing, right? Anyway, so that's the first eclipse season, and then we have the Taurus new moon even. Where's that one again? Okay, so there's so much going on for Taurus. The Taurus new moon, end of Taurus, on the 19th of May will be also huge, because look how much again is in Taurus at the time. Coming here, all the charts are coming out, marching in, and here it is. Look at that, right? So here we have end of Taurus on the cusp of Gemini, which I call the voice point. So finding your voice in this case, right? Voicing your values, also the voice of nature with Taurus Gemini. Listening to the voices of nature, be an advocate for nature. Tell stories about nature and so on, right? Let nature speak to you. And it comes close to Uranus. While at the beginning of Taurus, there's Mercury. Is it retro? Not quite, but Mercury will also go retro in Taurus, will go retro in the Earth signs in 2023. So Mercury, Jupiter having just entered Taurus. This is also an initiatory new moon for Jupiter in Taurus. May 16th, and the new moon is on the 19th, right after, escorting Jupiter in. So that is quite a Taurian feast here on the 19th of May. Definitely initiatory energy for anything that wants to be built based on values and to worked on, and that would be great for anybody who does farming, works with the land, and wants to do a new venture in that regard, right? And then we have the second eclipse season in the fall, and that starts on October 28th. October 28th is the full moon, so the moon will be in Taurus while the sun is in Scorpio. Looking for other things as well. Yeah, okay, we don't need the Scorpio new moon, but we need this one. So October 28th, look at that polarity. So there's a lot going on in Scorpio, in this case also with Mars and the sun, while the moon in Taurus. And it's an eclipse. It's a partial lunar eclipse because the moon is not so close to the North Node. The North Node is by then already in Aries, as I said, from July on. But the moon is big, literally, because it comes with Jupiter and Uranus. So this is also a juxtaposition of here the stability, but also the importance of finding stability in the face of instability and unsettled energy with Jupiter and Uranus. And at the same time, with Scorpio, Scorpio is transformational, but it can be also very destructive, right? That's a shadow of it, being just destructive and not transformational. Well, everything always is, but there can be so much impact, so much bad impact through destruction, physically and of course also human life. So that partial lunar eclipse calls us to really be strong in terms of life force, right? So air is life force, nature, life on earth is important. And yeah, so quite the year for Taurus. And every Taurus moon, of course, is powerful and strong because it gives you sort of a resonance field for your Taurian side, and you may really feel very grounded and more comfortable in your skin and really enjoy life and say, yeah, this is me, this is what my life is about. And you can follow the moons with, if you have a calendar, a lunar calendar, or also follow my Astro News on Facebook, where I post every day, including the positions of the moon, and of course also the newsletter that comes via email, which gives you an outlook for the coming 2 weeks from new moon to full moon, or from full moon to new moon. And what else is there? So much for Taurus. I think I should close here. The one thing I still want to say, hey, this has been quite the Taurus Aquarius energy today, and more to come in my life, because I Skyped with my brother before, whose Mars is in Taurus, and then I'll see a friend whose Sun is in Taurus later for a walk and tea time, and in the evening I'll have another online meeting with another friend whose rising sign is in Taurus. So very Aquarius Taurus here today, and I embrace that. It's all good, and we see each other again tomorrow, or you see me. I hope I see you again at some point too, or meet you for the first time if we come for a session or do something. And tomorrow I'll be on again with Gemini. See you then. Bye.